Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tennyson E, Stead, writer and director of Quantum Theory, founding member of 8-Sided Films, here with another 8-Sided blog today. And last week we talked a little bit about where I was at personally, how I was feeling about the new year, and also what 8-Sided Films is planning going forward. And today I'm going to get just a little bit more personal and talk about what my personal health plan is going forward and how I'm going to be managing my relationships, because I'm making some changes to how I resolve and deal with my disability, which is a traumatic brain injury for anybody who's not aware, with any number of disabilities. I have motor control problems, I have vocal control problems, I get dizzy all the time, I'm fatigued all the time, but I also get minor cognitive issues, and like with any other form of power relationship, people in Hollywood and around the country and around the world have their own way of dealing with my disability, independent of how I deal with my disability. Ableism is a real, very real force in my life, and nobody's outside that box. And for the last 4 years, I think one of the reasons why I've been getting so angry, and one of the reasons why I've been despondent, and one of the things that's preventing me from growing emotionally to the degree that I can through this experience, although I have to also say this has also helped me create an area of safety around myself, has been the fact that when people come at me with dehumanizing approaches to handling my disability, when they approach me, when they hit me with a car or with their person, or shove me out of the way and then bother to go, "Oh, sorry bro, didn't see you," physically after they have shoved me, for example, it's always been my sort of, with noted exception, and definitely I've picked some fights, but it's been my sort of standard operating procedure to try and make them feel okay about that, because it helps de-escalate situations. So I've sort of been living two lives over the course of the last 4 years. One of those lives is the life where I'm a producer and I'm a director and I need to command authority in the environment where I work for safety reasons and for the well-being of everybody around me. So that's half of the picture, and then the other half of the picture is where I'm in public and I'm walking with one of my actors or with my composer, and I will go just a little bit more out of my way to help people accept me as a cripple in their environment, so that they don't have to worry that I'm out of place or something's wrong. They get that little buzz in their head of, oh my God, something's fucked up, if a cripple is acting like a real person. And so my job in that has been helping the people around me, sort of make the transition between those two environments and accept me as a real person in one moment and then accept me as a cripple in another, to make all of our lives easier and to help create safety in the context of the larger world around us. And whenever people do small ableist things, whenever comments are made or decisions are made on my behalf without my consent or anything along those lines, there's the expectation that, and this is an unspoken expectation that I think most people aren't aware of, that I'm going to facilitate that process, because everyone assumes it's in my best interest. And most often the decisions that are getting made on my behalf are bad decisions, because people aren't living my life and they don't have my priorities, and to be frank with you, most people aren't capable of living my life. So that's been a lot of work, is what I'm saying. And I think probably helping people juggle that is this a person, is this not a person question from moment to moment and come up with a different answer every time is something that every underprivileged person has to learn. I imagine that happens in the LGBTQ community. I imagine it happens in the Black community. I imagine it happens with women all across the country, where there are some environments where people need a little help to embrace you as a person, and other environments where people need a little help to dismiss you as not a person free of conscience, so as to make the whole day as smooth and free of conflict as possible. And truthfully, it has done that. It has absolutely helped eliminate conflict, make me more secure at the day job where I work. It's helped me build relationships within the industry. It's helped me keep and maintain and build on the relationships that I already have. And at the same time, it's a mountain of work. It's a giant mountain of work. And I'm now at the point in my development where the relationships that I really need are well developed. And everybody's feeling secure in those relationships. And it's okay to shake them up a little bit at this point. So now I'm going to stop doing that work. I'm going to stop helping others dehumanize myself. And this is the first of two, I don't want to call them resolutions, but this is the first of two sort of plans that I have for 2018 on a personal level. And what that's going to achieve is it's going to take all of the work that I invest in helping other people juggle that sort of seesaw, and I am going to invest it in productions, and I'm going to invest it in the well-being of my community. And I'm going to get a lot farther because I'm not spending as much work on other unnecessary things. Where that's going to cause massive problems is how people respond to the fact that I don't know my place as a cripple, and all of the conflicts that arise from that. And I'm just going to get out of those conflicts as fast as I can, and sometimes it's going to involve winning them. But how do I know those conflicts are coming? I think any disabled person does, but the reason why when I throw around words like cripple, people go, oh God, you're not a cripple. You're not, don't think of yourself that way. Good God, good God. I am a cripple. I have trouble walking. I am all the definitions of a cripple. But the reason why people can't accept that in their head is because in their heads, they think that they have to choose between accepting me as a cripple or accepting me as a person. And cripples are people. And that's the mental leap that people are not prepared to make. And I'm going to stop pretending that that leap isn't there. I'm going to stop helping them live in both of those worlds at the same time. I'm just going to present myself as a human being. I'm not going to frankly help people with their discomfort with my disability anymore. That's work that they can do on their own. And again, you know, all the relationships that are really important in my life, I've invested that time. I've invested that help. I'm good. I'm all set. So it really is their problem going forward. And that's half of my plan for 2018. I'm going to take all of that energy, I'm going to invest it in helping our culture in the broader sense. I'm going to invest it in the productions, I'm going to invest it in the community. So that's half of it. The other half is that I'm no longer accepting apologies from people at all. And I will bend this law professionally for the sake of decorum. But on a personal level, I want to be absolutely clear, no more apologies. And the reason is simple. Again, too many people have slammed into me, you know, not looking where they're going or assuming that I'm moving as fast as they are, taking that one look and then checking out and then wham, why the fuck is this cripple in my way? Sorry, bro. What that apology is supposed to mean is, I realize I've made a mistake. I'm going to go and do the work of ensuring that that mistake never happens again by building new habits. If I am not paying attention to my surroundings, I'm going to stop playing with my cell phone and I'm going to start paying more attention to my surroundings. But in this context, that's not what the promise actually means. What the promise means is, dude, I fucked up. You need to know I'm not that person. Say I'm not that person. Say I'm not the person who just hits cripples because they don't give a fuck. But you don't give a fuck. That's why you hit me. You are that person. You absolutely are. I'm not going to give you the credit of having done that work when I know for a fact you're not going to do it. Okay? So, here's how it works with me. If someone does something for which they are genuinely remorseful and they're a close personal friend, I already know that person's going to go and do the work of making sure it doesn't have to happen again. That person's going to hear what went wrong. They're going to make sure that they invest the time of building different habits. Building different habits is hard, by the way. It's not easy work, but I'm surrounded by people who do. That's why I'm surrounded with these people. That's why I value these people, and that's why I produce shows with them. That's why these are my show people. It's because they're willing to do that work, okay? And for the people who aren't willing to do that work, I understand. It's hard, you know? I understand that to you, the safety and well-being of other human beings is not enough of a reason to invest the time to learn how to look where you're going, for example, or not get so frustrated at the grocery store that you're not physically going to move me out of the way so that you can get around me, or whatever the case is. Those are the little day-by-day things. Obviously, there's much bigger things that happen periodically throughout the week, you know, but like moment-to-moment hands-on violence, if you're not going to invest the time to control yourself, to learn your physical environment and how to manipulate it and move through it without disrespecting other people, if that's too much work for you, then your apology is meaningless. I don't understand why you're offering it in the first place. And, you know, January 1st, 2019, we'll take another look. We'll see if maybe apologies have come to mean something more than that. But I am done handing out those little congratulatory notes of, I know you're not an ableist. I know you're not. In your heart, you are. And I'm holding you accountable for it from now on. So, so that's stuff that I am, believe it or not, looking forward to. And I'm looking forward to it, yes, in part because I'm just a giant asshole who likes to fuck with people. That's absolutely true. But, much more importantly, I'm excited by the fact that reinvigorating my respect for myself and reinvigorating my faith in my own humanity and my own personhood is going to unleash and unlock a lot of energy that up until now has been spent on disempowering myself for the sake of other people's comfort. All of that energy could have been put towards films. And the truth is, I needed the safety to sort of stabilize my life in the wake of that brain injury. But now I'm taking those little chunks of my humanity back. And I don't think people are going to like it. And it's going to be an interesting year. So, that's my personal update. And that's how I'm going to be managing my own emotional well-being for the next 12 months. Professionally, as the head of 8-Sided Films, there's some very cool things going on here. We have some new business relationships and some new business plans that may, in fact, in the long run, speed up all of our development and production efforts substantially. And I'm as soon as there's papers signed and there's stuff to talk about, I'll tell everybody who's involved and what thanks are owed, and you know what I'm saying, and how this is all coming down, and frankly who the visionaries are and the people who are trusting our work and believing in us and understanding the value that we bring to Hollywood, who those people are, because they deserve the credit. You know who I'm talking to. Thank you. And then the other half of it is that while all of that stuff gets cooking, while we percolate all of that stuff, because it's not going to happen overnight, as much as it may well happen quickly, I don't want to bore my actors. I don't want Johnny to wander off and forget about us. So I wrote a script. And it's a script about David Allen Rifkin, who is everybody's least favorite independent film director, the character that Gerard and I have developed on the 8-Sided Films YouTube page, youtube.com/8sidedfilms, the number 8, as opposed to the word spelled out. And it's about everything that's broken in Hollywood. It's about everything that's completely fucked up. And everything that needs to be fixed. And it's about where I think, and possibly I think there's a consensus in the ensemble, we'll find out, but you know, where I think the roots of our misogyny are coming from, where I think where the lack of accountability lives, and how it lives, and how moving that accountability from person to person is such a game in this town. That's what it's about. And it's about David trying to get his independent film done while his assistant, who is a true believer in the power of Hollywood, and someone who has a dream and a vision for a future for this industry, tries to take this giant shitstorm that David is concocting and move it into a productive, helpful, positive direction. And how that storm ultimately destroys Ernest Perlmutter. It's gonna be ugly. Gerard's read it, and he's favorably predisposed towards it. Lee has read it. A number of other people in the ensemble are still working through it. I've got some meetings coming up this week to talk about it, and I think it's gonna be the kind of thing that the festivals are glad to have on their roster. I think it's the kind of thing that's going to help us all come to terms with some basic problems, or at the very least challenge us all to look and think a little bigger and dig a little deeper than we have. And you know, hopefully that's putting it mildly. Hopefully that's, you know, that's politician speak that I'm giving you right now. Hopefully it's much bigger impact than that. I look forward to sharing all of this with you in the future, but it is time for me to log off. So thank you for watching. If you like the videos, please give us a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the 8-Sided Films channel. We have a lot of stuff coming your way in 2018. And have yourself a happy new year. Take care. Bye-bye.